Joining us this morning is the president of Xpeng, Brian Gu. Brian, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What a time to come to market, given all of the anticipation about the future of electric vehicles and autonomy. Your cars are mostly designed for driving in China and all of the complications that brings. Can you just talk about the product briefly?
Yeah, so we develop what we call smart EVs in China. We actually have two products, one SUV model, the other one sports sedan model. What we have is actually self-developed full smart cockpit operating system, as well as voice control technologies. And also we have our own self-developed autonomous driving technologies as well. So we are very heavily invested in R&D as a company. And I think we're looking at future mobility that's more defined by software than hardware.
Right. It feels like you run a little more vertical than some of your well-known rivals. You operate your own network of charging stations. What's the strategy behind that?
Well, we believe that providing customers a very comfortable charging experience is one of the key differentiating factors for us. We have our own proprietary network of charging stations in China, and we aim to further develop and invest in that area. And I think in the long run, I think having the infrastructure in China to service all the EV drivers is a critical factor to drive the overall penetration.
You've got pretty sizable operating losses, but you're trying to shave down the negative operating margin. Can you address, I guess, what would be a classic investor concern? And then, of course, the sort of elephant in the room, given the ongoing tensions between the United States and China. What gave you the confidence to come to market in the U.S.?
Yeah, I think as a young company, obviously, we need to invest upfront in order to develop our technologies and scale. But I think we are rapidly improving our margins over the years. And even this year, I think we have narrowed our gross margin to break even almost. And I think we are seeing a positive gross margin trends for our products. In the long run, I think once our volume picks up, I think we actually will narrow the net margin loss as well. In terms of coming to the U.S., I think it's still I would say, deepest pool of capital with the most sophisticated investors. Again, I think the geopolitics tension is always going to be there, but we want to be partnered with the best, most sophisticated investors who understands our industry and can seize the opportunity.
Brian, the Trump administration has made a very specific threat, though, to delist Chinese companies that are trading here in the U.S. And what assurances did you get from securities regulators on both sides, both in the U.S. and China, that you could continue to trade here? And what assurances did you have to give U.S. regulators about being able to audit your financials?
Well, we work with big four audit firms in China. Our auditor is PwC. Obviously, they're China affiliate, and we have, I think, conformed to all the standards that's suitable for U.S. listing. We have confidence in a rigorous system, both in China and the U.S. And I think, my expectation is, there will be, something to be worked out between the two countries. And also as a company listing on the capital markets, we can always prepare for alternatives in, for example, Hong Kong dual listing and others that could give us, sort of options. But I think at the moment, I still see the U.S. market is one of the most solid and deepest and the best market for us to access capital.
Finally, I wonder, can you give viewers a sense of the degree to which consumer adoption of EVs differs by market? And I guess your clarity is best on China. How is the consumer thinking about that transition versus, say, an American one?
Well, in China, I think there is a strong emphasis on new energy vehicles. Obviously, the government has been providing incentives and policies try to foster the development of the industry. But more importantly, and also more recently, you start to see the consumer side really focus on innovative and cool products. And that's why Tesla has been selling very well this year in China. And also, companies like ourselves and others who actually provide smart, innovative products, actually capturing the consumer's attention. So I think this is still early innings of the long-term trend. The EV penetration in China is still below 5%, and also what I call the smart EV phenomenon is just to start to take shape. So we have actually a lot of hopes that this will be a long runway for us.